Hey guys, it's Ilya here from the Back and Balance group, and today I'm going to talk to you about headaches. Now, the headaches that I'm going to talk to you about are a very particular type of headache, the headache that you get behind the eyes or on top of the forehead, whether you get them here, whether you get them over there. Now, the truth be told, a lot of people get those types of headaches which are behind the eyes, on the forehead, from different causes. Some people get it because they have a particular condition like fibromyalgia. Other people can have a chronic fatigue syndrome, which I'll get to in other videos. Other people have low blood pressure and they have a particular headache behind the eyes or on the top of their forehead, a very weak type of a weakness headache. Other people have high blood pressure and their head feels like they're going to explode, but the pain is sometimes behind the eyes again and on top of the forehead. Other times it's people can get a cold, you have the flu, sometimes you have a virus, or you have like a stomach issue, and sometimes you have like headaches as well. There's like a lot of research linking a lot of headaches and gut issues together. But today's cause in particular that I want to talk about is the muscular cause from a particular muscle called the sternocleidomastoid, or short for SCM. So this muscle, it's a very interesting muscle. It's actually one of my favorite muscles because whenever I used to get a headache, the truth be told is when you get a headache, you can have a headache anywhere. You can have behind the eyes, you can have the forehead, you can have the temple headache, you can have the headache on top of the vertex, on top of the head. You can have a headache behind the skull, like at the very base of the skull, the suboccipital type of headache. There's so many different headaches you can have, and there are so many different causes and so many different solutions. But what I want to do is I want to talk about one type of cause and one type of solution. Today's cause is the cause that can come from the sternocleidomastoid muscle, or the SCM muscle, which is very, if we break down the muscle, it's you get to know yourself a little bit better once you get to know this muscle, because this muscle has been with you since you were born. And it's pretty much called the sternocleidomastoid because it goes like this. The sterno part of the sternocleidomastoid is linked to the sternum, which is here, the breastbone. The sternum, the sternocleidoclavicle. Clavicle is the collarbone. And then mastoid is like that part underneath the back of the skull, which is right here. So you have sternocleidomastoid. So this muscle has those attachments, and this muscle is one way of seeing or being able to palpate this muscle is like this. You put your palm on top of your forehead and you apply pressure back as your head tries to tense forward. You're trying to bend your head forward, and then what you'll do is you'll see this big fat muscle come up. And if it's a skinny muscle, if you haven't been working it, you still have the muscle there. Everyone's got a sternocleidomastoid. Because if you didn't have a sternocleidomastoid, it would be very difficult to do very particular neck movements because it wouldn't really support your neck the way it should completely in conjunction with all these other muscles. Now, we'll just call it the SCM because no one really likes, a lot of my clients, they don't like high-tech medical terminology. So we'll just stick with the muscle at the front of the neck called the sternocleidomastoid. Now, this muscle, whenever you want to look to your left, whenever you want to look to your left, the sternocleidomastoid muscle from the right side has to contract a little bit at the same time. When I look to the right, the same thing happens. It's very straightforward. The SCM muscle on the left tenses a little bit more. Now, if I want to accentuate that stretch, then I'd usually go like this. I would tilt my right ear to my right shoulder, and then from there, I'll look now, rotate to the left at the same time, and then that's how you can palpate the right side when I'm looking to the left. So I'm tilting my right ear to my right shoulder and looking to the left, and then you can obviously feel the right SCM muscle from the right side, allowing you to do that left movement. Same thing on the other right side now, the more the advanced attenuated version is. My left ear goes to my left shoulder, and then I rotate my neck to the right, and my left SCM muscle will tense, and you can feel it. I can feel it, you can feel it. Pause this video, feel your muscle, and then get back, and then resume this video. Now that you know what this muscle is and where it connects to and what it does, let's talk about the pain pattern that it causes. Now, through the nervous system, you have these things called trigger points, which I'll explain in a later video. The official name for it is called the autonomic phenomena. These days people call it trigger points. Some people call it knots. It doesn't necessarily have to be a knot, but this muscle, through the nervous system, through a part of the muscle that's contracted, through the trigger point in that muscle, whenever there's an issue there, and if there's a particular trigger point in that muscle can refer pain literally behind your eyes, on top of your forehead, in other people behind your ear. Now, since today's video is about the pain behind the eye on the top of the forehead, this muscle has two branches. The first branch that connects from the back part of the skull, from the mastoid process all the way to your breastbone, that's one branch of that muscle. The other branch that also connects from your mastoid process behind your skull connects to your collarbone. So there's two branches. Now the branch that goes to your breastbone refers pain behind the eye whenever there's a trigger point. It's known to refer pain behind the eye. The branch that's a little bit to the side and connects to the collarbone can sometimes refer pain to the forehead. Very similar but slightly different. Now, to release this muscle, I'll show you how to do it, but you have to make sure that like a trained professional is with you when they do it, because you have a carotid artery very close to your neck. You want to make sure that you're grabbing this muscle and you're not grabbing the carotid artery. So if you don't know how to do this properly, I'd recommend like speaking to a trained professional before doing this, but here it goes. So pretty much I tilt my right ear to my right shoulder a little bit. I look a little bit to the left to capture the right muscle. And I just get a pincer grip. I grab my right, see I just grab my muscle over here on the very top. The muscle, the fibers on the bottom, they refer pain to different areas. I'll get that to another video. But the muscle that's on the top here, you just grab it, and what you'll feel a little bit of like a guitar string sensation, a little bit of a flick. So you knead it. Just like move it around with your fingers. And what happens is once that muscle relaxes, usually I've noticed when you grab the muscle, the first thing that you're feeling is usually the muscle branch that connects to the breastbone. If you want to go a little bit further, if that muscle's relaxed, it will allow you to palpate the muscle that's further deeper in the neck. So grab a little bit more, and if you can grab it a little bit more deeper, you'll feel a slightly different muscle, which is pretty much the other branch of the same SCM muscle. Now once you get to that muscle actually connects all the way down to your collarbone. So the two branches, one to the breastbone, one to the collarbone. It connects and it refers pain into your forehead. So these are the practical things that you can do by yourself whenever you're having a headache behind the eyes or on top of the forehead, when you know that that's the cause of that problem and not because of high blood pressure or anything like that. Another practical thing that I'd like you to do is I see a lot of people that are sitting down in the offices all the time. When you're sitting around, you're sitting down like that, and then everyone's guilty of it. You get lazy sometimes and then your head goes like that. What happens in that position is the muscles at the back of the neck, they get tight and shorter. Whereas the SCM muscle that we've been talking about, it tightens itself, setting yourself up for trigger points. So from this position, this muscle can accumulate trigger points, and if the trigger point's active, it'll just refer pain behind the eye or the forehead a lot of the time, and I see this with a lot of my clients. So if that was the cause and you release that muscle, the pain will go away. If it doesn't go away, it may not have been from the muscle to begin with. I explained to you that the particular cause of the pain behind the eye or the forehead could be coming from the SCM muscle. There could be a lot of other factors involved, a lot of other causes, and a lot of different solutions. But today's solution is the SCM muscle, and refer pain behind the eye or the forehead. It has two branches, one branch that connects from the back of the skull, mastoid process, all the way to the breastbone, and the other branch goes from the mastoid process to the collarbone. One can refer pain behind the eye, the other one behind the forehead. If you grab your arm like this, if you grab your fingers, pinch that muscle, tilt your right ear to your right shoulder, look to the left, you'll be able to palpate the right side, massage it a little bit. Try not to sit like that for too long. If you've been sitting like that for too long and you've tried this and it doesn't work, try to look up and to the left to stretch out the right side. And to stretch the left side out, look up and to the left as you're pulling your opposite shoulder down. So I'm actually looking up and looking to the right and dropping my left shoulder down, and I can feel a nice stretch on my SCM muscle. So there you go. You know what the muscle is, you know where it attaches to, you know how it's important for the stability of the neck, you know how to release it by yourself, provided that you've consulted a health professional to make sure you're not touching your carotid artery or getting very close near it. Watch out how you sit on the computer, stretch your SCM muscle. Your SCM muscle has been with you as long as you've been born. Get to know yourself, get to know your SCM. This is Ilya from the Back and Balance Group. If you like this video, share it, like it, send it to your friends and family. Over and out.